Hello, Eimantas, how are you?
Hello.
Can you introduce yourself quickly?
Yep. My name is Eimantas. I'm 23-year-old. I live back in Lithuania, Eastern Europe, the best place. Yeah, I'm a freelance web developer. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Have you been in some experience similar to Grand Camp before?
Yeah, I've tried similar things. Definitely not specifically this kind of thing, because I never heard of someone doing something like that before. But I've been in a similar shorter term experiences like this. So yeah, and I enjoy being in such a kind of chaotic environment where I really believe that chaos brings magnificent things you can never think of in in just a regular office setting.
Was that a Coliving as well?
Well, the one thing I did, it was called Startup Bus. So we lived on a bus for 5 days, traveling all across Europe and hacking, partying, and doing a bunch of stuff there, and ending up in a really cool conference for 2 days. And eventually, I slept in a bathtub full of beer.
Okay. What were your expectations before coming here?
I really expected, that a bunch of crazy people will come here, a bunch of crazy smart people, because you have to be a little bit crazy to come to think like this, because even Mark was telling you that a lot of people were just thinking this is some kind of scam and cannot be real, and you just have to have this kind of just do it attitude just to come there. You don't know anyone coming here. You don't know what this organization is about, because it never been done before. So that kind of setting gave me expectations that there will be a lot of interesting and kind of crazy people, as I said, and the whole chaos thing kind of complements to what I've said before.
And how do you feel right now?
I feel good, a little bit hangover.
But about the whole thing, the Grand Camp?
I feel good. I'm just happy I did this. I've met so many good people. I've seen this country. I've never been in Central America before. This country itself is amazing. The idea behind the Grand Camp and the whole process and everything is amazing. So yeah, I love this dude trying to freak me out on my interview. Yeah, I have only positive attitude against everything what was happening, and I think even though we had some disagreements with some people, not specifically anybody, but when you live up for a month, some things erase in the whole process. So I think that's totally expected. You cannot be expect butterflies and rainbows every day. It's because first week, of course, is glamorous. You look at the view and everything, but after that, you just get into your normal mode. And yeah, so that was totally expected from my opinion. Some people will get on better. Some people will have some conflicts between them, because we're just so different personalities, all of us, and that's what makes it beautiful, in my opinion.
What you're gonna miss the most, and what you're not going to miss at all?
I don't think there is a specific thing I'm not gonna miss, because as I said, all this drama which was happening, basically one drama a week, a perfect amount of drama for my life. So all the things was positive, because you cannot expect only for nice things, because life is just this way. You have nice things, you have bad things, so you have to embrace it and enjoy it. And the biggest thing I'm gonna miss is probably the cheap cigarettes, cheap beer, and people who I met here, and I hope to see most of you at least a few more times in my life, somewhere, in whatever random setting.
Do you regret doing something or not doing something?
I don't know, it's hard to say. I mean, maybe I regret not being in touch with some people, because there's just so many people, and then you get into a deeper conversations with some personalities, and then after that others maybe kind of feel left off or not appreciated or anything, but there's just so many of us, so you cannot be friends with everybody. I keep telling that to myself. So maybe not having enough time and enough enthusiasm to go to every single of people living in there and just talking to them, like getting to know their personalities, not like just what you're doing and like what's your name and stuff like that, because I really love to, you know, meet people in a more deeper way to see like what kind of people they are. So yeah. And regret doing, I don't really regret anything I did.
Okay, what would you change for the next Grind Camp?
I think that the general idea and everything what like Mark was telling and like how it was presented and through all the talks we had over the Grind Camp in terms of logistics and in terms of like, you know, general vision, what we have to agree on, I would think there should be a little bit more structure into that. For example, even though it was a huge, like, you know, logistical nightmare to make all the logistics work, to make everyone, to make sure that everybody's here and like arrange all the stuff beforehand, but I think it would need more structure during the actual thing when it's happening. So for example, as you would imagine, like Grind Camp would like to benefit somehow from social media, so I think like this kind of part of that was very unorganized and like kind of chaotic, and like in that sense you would need some more structure, you know, like what kind of things do we want to share, how do you want to present ourselves and everything, because like it's hard to plan it beforehand, but you can go meet the people in there and then like present it in a more structured, organized way. So I would change this, and then like I would expect maybe some kind of more collaborations, not in terms of work stuff, but more collaborations on like weekend trips and activities what you could do there, because like there's a bunch of people doing a bunch of things, but like getting everything together is kind of messy way. So I think there should be a way to solve this kind of problem more easily, you know, to get everyone on board, plan some activities and everything. We have done some, but like every time until you just do it, like everything is in the air. No one seems to, you know, like confirm 100% and so on. So maybe that's just the people what we have there. No one wants to, you know, like commit like I'm going somewhere in 2 days. We just decide on the spot and stuff like that.
If you have to describe Grind Camp in one word, what word would it be?
It's hard to do it in one word. I think it's the hardest part about the Grind Camp is explaining to the other people what is it. So if that just has to be one word, I would say chaos, but in a good way.
Do you have something to tell to Maria and Mark?
Yeah, I'm very grateful that they just went and did this thing without knowing like what the fuck is gonna happen. Like I've seen like the first, like I liked Facebook page of Grind Camp and there was maybe like 10 fans, and people were just like, what the fuck is going on? And then like I appreciated this, I don't want to repeat myself, but just do it attitude, and like this is the most amazing thing, and I'm feeling that like not necessarily this thing, but if you just keep doing whatever random stuff that comes to your head, you will find some things what works, you will find even more things what doesn't work, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad that it doesn't work. You just crossed out another thing and you don't keep thinking about, oh, what it would be if I did this and that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Mark was really welcoming and like very cheerful person, even though maybe just because of his personality or whatever, we didn't get much time to hang out with him and like talk to him in a more significant way. But I think most of the people feel that way. And Muriel, yeah, she was, I don't know if you're gonna like show it to her or not, I don't really care, but I would think that like all the work she did planning this thing like was really good. There could be some improvements.
If you have to describe Grind Camp in one word, what word would it be?
It's hard to do it in one word. I think it's the hardest part about Grind Camp is explaining to the other people what is it. So if that just has to be one word, I would say chaos, but in a good way.
Do you have something to tell to Maria and Mark?
Yeah, I'm very grateful that they just went and did this thing without knowing like what the fuck is gonna happen. Like I've seen like the first like I liked Facebook page of Grindcamp and there was maybe like 10 fans, and people were just like, what the fuck is going on? And then like I appreciated this, I don't want to repeat myself, but just do it attitude, and like this is the most amazing thing. And I'm feeling that like not necessarily this thing, but if you just keep doing whatever random stuff that comes to your head, you will find some things what works, you will find even more things what doesn't work, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad that it doesn't work. You just crossed out another thing and you don't keep thinking about, oh, what it would be if I did this and that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Mark was really welcoming and like very cheerful person, even though maybe just because of his personality or whatever, we didn't get much time to hang out with him and like talk to him in a more significant way. But I think most of the people feel that way. And Muriel, yeah, she was, I don't know if you're gonna like show it to her or not, I don't really care, but I would think that like all the work she did planning this thing like was really good, but the general end result was really good. On the spot experiences and like on the spot like planning could be improved, even though we come with this attitude of like we don't know what's gonna happen, what we're gonna do, but there are certain aspects that could be planned out in a better way, and I think that would help that. And yeah, but anyways, I'm feeling grateful for all the work, and like I imagine like, you know, it's you, even though like we're saying we're not responsible for us or anything, but you feel responsible in a way for all the people to make them feel happy and not to talk shit about you when we leave. So I think we did a great job. It took a lot of like emotional energy to carry on through all the things, because like as I said, everyone's just so different, and like certain things arise, so this cannot be hidden. Like you cannot just pretend like everyone's happy and like everything's perfect and like butterflies and rainbows and unicorns is not the real thing. So that's just life. So yeah, I'm very grateful in the end, like my conclusion about this question.
All right, thank you very much.